2, Mom wanted suggestions from the viewers. So, you guys put a lot of topics in the Discord, and I appreciate that.
Me too.
Mom has decided to hit them all. So we're just going to go right down the list and see if we can go through them and talk about them and stuff like that. So, first one was from Pancake. It says, Tiny Bret stories. What are some memorable stories from me? Nothing. Alright, topic 2.
When Bret was a baby, 4 months old. Okay. So he was born the end of June. So this is Halloween. We decided he was a pumpkin. We dressed him up as a pumpkin, and our neighbors knew that he was going to be a pumpkin and everything. So we're bringing him around to our neighbor's house, and we're good friends with the people across the street, which were my parents' age. And the people kitty corner to us, which were probably 10 years younger than them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went and we visited right across the street first. And because they were my parents' age, we played it safe. We just knocked on the door and said, trick or treat.
Mm-hmm.
But when we went over to our kitty corner neighbors, the Carpenters, we wanted to pull a joke. So, did you have them or did I have them? You had them, didn't you?
I had the fake.
You had the fake one. Okay. So, we took this pumpkin head, plastic pumpkin head, and we wrapped it up like it was a baby, and Mr. Papa G was holding him, or it, and walking up the stairs to the door, and I actually had Bret in my arms, for real, and he pushed the doorbell, and they opened it up, and he went to go inside, and he trips, and he throws the doll down, and the head rolls off. So they're like, ah! Ah! And I'm actually outside with the real baby, laughing my ass off like now. But they were good-hearted. And nobody had heart attacks like we thought Jack and Irene across the street would do. So it's all good. It's all good. And we're still really good, close friends with them. And they still bring it up. That's right. And actually, Kenny Carpenter, when Bret was a baby, Bret's hair used to stick up. And he had the softest hair, which he still does, but I don't touch it anymore. But it would just stick up, like those Asian babies. I'm telling you. So, and he did look like an Asian too when he was smaller. Mm-hmm. He had the little slitty eyes. So Kenny would call him Spike. That was his nickname, was Spike. So, and we actually have one Christmas ornament that they bought us, his first Christmas ornament from the Carpenters, Mickey Mouse, driving a little car, and on the back of it they put Spike, 1993. So, yeah, that's one of our favorite stories of Tiny Bret. But he was a normal kid, really good. Didn't have any real issues with him. The only time I had to spank you in public was once. You were probably around 3 years old, and you wanted to go one way, and we were going the other. And all I did was one quick swat on your butt, sat you on the bench, and said, when you're ready to listen, we'll go. And that was it. If we had a second child, it would be me. Yeah, so we stuck with one.
Alright, any other standout stories? Are you good with that one?
I'm good with that one.
Okay.
To be continued at a further date. I gotta think.
Alright, this one is from Rainbow. says, what did you think Bret would be when he grew up, occupation-wise?
Something with computers. Definitely something with computers. Either with programming or, I don't know, data input. Just, I don't know, he's got that mindset of, he's intelligent. I mean, he's just, he did well in school compared to how I did. And that's where he takes after his father a lot. I'm street smart. I have more common sense, or maybe no sense. But like Papa G is very intelligent and just I don't know. Opposites attract. He's quiet and shy, and I'm more out there. And yeah, I just see Bret takes after him in a lot of ways. And with the quietness and stuff, he just zooms in and like, oh, that's that. And me, I'm like, here. I don't know why my phone did this. So yeah, I thought computers for sure. And you are, sort of, you know. So there's all different aspects of this whole computer world that I didn't even know. The first time I used a mouse, I had it in the air, and I'm like, and my girlfriend's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm trying to click onto that box. And she goes, you have to put it down. It's got to be on to this mouse pad. And I'm like, oh. So, and I like regular computers with keyboards. Laptops screw me up. And what else screws me up?
Have you done your tablet really, or?
No, I haven't done the tablet.
Okay, well, other than that, I mean, well, you had a fun time with your keyboard when you.
Oh yeah, the flip phone.
The flip phone. And then we got those sideways ones with the slide, and that was better. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
You have to have smaller thumbs.
You're better with the touchscreen than you first were. With
yeah,
that keyboard.
I just gotta work at it. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot, and like, you can't just show me once. You have to show me 3, 4, 10 times. Just my generation or me. I just don't get things that quickly. So, yeah.
Alright, another one from Pancake. It says, who is your favorite dwarf in Snow White?
I actually ranked them. Dopey. Ultimate dwarf. Why? Because his ears wiggle. And he doesn't talk. What woman doesn't want a guy who doesn't talk? And he's just like, he just wants to be loved, and that's just me. And just, he's cute. He's just like, I don't know. When he runs up to Snow White twice to get a kiss from her and everything, and just, he's the cutest dwarf. That's all. My second favorite is Bashful, just because he's bashful. I like the quiet and shy. I'm drawn to that. So I guess that's why I like Bashful. And Grumpy is my third favorite, just because he is protective. He wants to make sure everything's right with her, with all of them. And yes, he's rough around the edges, but he's really lovable inside. And then Happy, because he's happy. And Doc, because he reminds me of my sister Paula. like lining them all up in order. She's the oldest of our family. We're bookends. And she just, when we were kids, kept us all in order. And she was my first babysitter and second mom. And that's why I like Doc. And Sleepy, well, who doesn't like a few extra winks? And Sneezy's my next one. Yeah, I went different because it is different. Sneezy is, I just like the way he settles in, and when he starts to sneeze, all of them are trying to tie his mustache to his beard to his nose and trying to keep him quiet, and you can't keep a sneeze quiet. So
Next one's from Big John. It says, what people have had a huge impact in your life?
Yeah, this one's a tough one because there's a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
My sister Paula, because she was the one who watched out for all of us. My brother Philip, he was my godfather. He passed away.
Middle school, 6th grade.
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of years ago. But they're my two oldest siblings, and they always watched out for all of us. Philip's the only one who's passed away in my family, out of my siblings. Let's see. Of course, my grandparents, like, just the way they, at summertime, we would always have a week vacation at my grandparents. Even though they lived in the same town as we did, we always went and we stayed with them for a week. We went strawberry picking. We went to their card games with them, which all the old people would, We would play cards in the evening and sit around and eat popcorn, whatever, the snacks, and just, it was simpler back then. So, and they just, I don't know, you go on car rides, there was a whole different feel. And they influenced us with just being family. And, of course, my parents, my father was, when I was younger and he was working all the time, he would work his ass off to make sure that we had food on the table, clothes to wear. Doesn't matter if they were hand-me-downs, that's fine. But we didn't have a lot, but he made sure that we had the essentials. And we would go camping almost every summer when I was from like 8 until about 16. And it was a week up at Louis Lake, and it was just fun. There was black bears. You'd be walking around the camp, and at night go up to the bathrooms, and you'd have to be swinging your flashlight or else you'd be running into a black bear. Those things are big, and you just stand still and they walk right past you. Pretty much. Back then they did. And it was just, Dad was a workaholic, just because he needed to be. And to us, we were always scared of him because the threat was, wait until your father gets home. If you did something, my mother didn't correct us. She would leave it until my father got home, and he didn't want to deal with us kids. So it was like, you always were scared of Dad. When Dad met any of our boyfriends and stuff, he would be behind the paper reading, and he would, if he liked you, he would put down the paper a little bit and look at you and talk. If he didn't like you, he'd be behind the paper. So that was always fun. But yeah, so he was an influence with always be at work 15 minutes early. Make sure that you're ready to go. Always be anywhere 15 minutes early. Put in your best effort and get it done. And now, with Dad being older, he's more of, he's a friend to me. He's also almost like a kid, my kid, because I'm taking care of a lot of things for him. Thank God he still gets out. We go places and stuff. He doesn't drive anymore, so he gets in my car and goes, which he tells me I have a lead foot. But yeah, I would say mostly family is a big influence. Mike's grandparents, when they were alive and we were together, they were a big influence into our lives because of the longevity of their marriage and just the way they were, just Grandma and Pop. So, sorry, I'm emotional. So, but yeah.
All right, back to what you referred in the first topic. That's another pancake one. How did you and Dad meet?
Oh, we met at McDonald's in Mechanicsville. That was our first jobs. I was already working there, and I worked the counter. I worked both drive-through and the counter. And Papa G was the biscuit maker. And he came in one morning, and I was there, and my sister Cindy and I, we both worked at McDonald's. And actually my brother Leon worked at McDonald's too, but he wasn't there when Mr. G started. But my sister worked the same shift as Papa G. And so he met her first. So when he met me, I was like, oh, I'm Marianne. How you do? I'm like, I'm the prettier one. And then there was one occasion where he was making the biscuits, because they make them fresh every morning, and he's in the dough, and me being me, I pinched his butt cheeks and said, just seeing if they're fresh. And yeah, but it took time for him to, I think, see me. I don't know. I'm just saying this. But I had to, our first date was a double date with the maintenance man and his girlfriend. And we went to Pizza Hut. We played miniature golf. And I think we were home by 10. And we were on the front porch, and he was saying goodnight, and I got a hug goodnight. So
Dad and I playing at the same.
So, very gentlemanly, and I get in the house, and my mother's like, what are you doing home? Mom, he had a curfew. No. Which he did, and he's the oldest of his siblings, and I'm the youngest, so my parents were like,
at that point.
Yeah, at that point, they're just like, go. But no, later on into the relationship, it was interesting. So, but that's how we met, McDonald's.
Chat's loving that story. Alright, another one from Rainbow. What is your greatest achievement? Besides me.
My greatest achievement?
Yeah.
Being Mrs. Griffin. Really, I mean, that was one of, if not the happiest days of my life was marrying that guy that's playing out there. Yeah, and the second one was having you. And yeah, I don't know. Just being a good person. I'm hoping I am, and making other people happy. That's what my goals really are in life. I'm just, I don't know. I just want to be loved. I don't know. Keep it simple. Yeah.
Okay. That's actually the last one. Nice. All right. Thank you, chat, for those topics. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.